Hi, I'm Mel.
And I'm Janelle.
And this is the Murder Mamas.
The Murder Mamas.
Welcome.
Welcome. Hello.
Hello.
I almost said it.
No.
But it's not Thursday.
It's not even Thursday.
Sunday.
It's a whole different day.
Yep.
And it's like light outside too, which is weird.
It's daytime. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
It's not a day to talk about crimes.
No. But they'll listen to it on Tuesday, and that is a day.
And that is the day to talk about crime.
Yep.
All right. Do you just want to jump in?
Yep.
Okay. So today we're going to talk. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the Lululemon Murder. Mm-hmm. You familiar?
I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any other clothing though. I'd like a pair of their pants. They seem like they uplift the butt.
Okay. I thought you said I don't have any other clothing besides Lululemon, no. And I was like, that's weird. I've seen you many times for the last almost 2 years, and you wear black shirts, black leggings, and if it's summertime, you wear a black shirt with black shorts.
Yes.
I've never seen, you're wearing a charcoal gray sweater today, which is out of uniform.
It is.
And I find that surprising.
I like it though. It's very soft.
So no, you don't have any.
No, I meant like, yes, I'd like to.
You would like to have some.
I just think they're way expensive and I don't want to pay.
So expensive.
Like if my mom was still paying for my shit, totally.
Well, Brittany thought they were expensive too. Okay, you can't leave it.
Okay.
That was such a dark joke. See, and I can't, that's who I am, you know?
But, who gives a shit what?
Well, I feel it feels disrespectful.
Oh, fuck that.
To me, it feels disrespectful. Mm. Okay. Yeah, you'll cut off.
I'll cut that.
Anyway, so we're talking about the Lululemon murder, which Mel does not have any of their clothes. And it occurred in the overnight hours between March 11th and March 12th.
Yeah.
So I think it's officially March 12th. But
yeah,
it was closing on the night of March 11th.
They closed that late?
Well, they closed. I mean, they weren't discovered until the next morning.
Yeah, that's true.
March 12th.
Okay.
So Lululemon, for anyone who doesn't know what Lululemon is, it's an athletic store that sells overpriced yoga pants.
Yes.
And jackets.
Yeah.
And other things.
But their butts do look good in those leggings.
Their butts look good because they weigh 110 pounds.
Oh, maybe that's it.
That's probably it.
Damn it. I was hoping that
pounds.
Maybe if I bought one, it would flip my butt and give me a butt.
Sorry.
It's sunk in the belly.
I don't think so. I mean,
all right.
Maybe that's what you should ask Susan for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Some Lululemons.
Yeah.
Okay. So this particular store was located in Bethesda, Maryland, which is a suburb of Washington, D.C.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, now you do. So now you'll never forget.
Nope.
For some reason, as I was researching this, it took me a really long time. I thought Bethesda was in Pennsylvania, which makes no difference. But to me, that sounds like it makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, no, it's Maryland. Anyways, so this store is in Bethesda, which is a very, very nice neighborhood.
Yeah. Top.
It is sandwiched between a stationery store and an Apple store.
Yeah.
So
lots of money going on.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not a struggling, there's no Five Belows in that area or Dollar Generals or things of that nature.
Yeah.
So on that night, March 11th, the store was being closed by 2 employees of Lululemon, Brittany Norwood and Jana Murray. Jana was the manager. Brittany was employee. Yeah. I'm struggling today. How do I present the information?
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to go to the day of when they're discovered. So on March 12th, 2011, when the store opened, they found that the front door was unlocked and the alarm was not engaged.
Yeah.
And so they like walk in and they see that the store is in disarray. There's stuff strewn all about, and they immediately turn around and leave. And she can hear someone like moaning from the back, and she's like, nope.
Yeah.
And I want to say she would survive.
Yeah.
In a horror film.
Yeah, yes.
Like,
no, that's what you're supposed to do.
I'm not dealing with this. So she walks out of the store, immediately calls the police, and she's like, I'm opening my store at Lululemon. There's, like things are in disarray. But there's a man sitting outside who's waiting to get into the Apple store.
Yeah.
Because the iPad 2 had just dropped. So, I know, right? Oh my God. So he had tried to get, it had dropped the day before.
Right.
And he had tried to get it that day, but it was sold out. So he showed up super, super early.
Yeah. And
sat outside and was like, I'm going to be first in line to get it today because...
Yeah, I want it.
Consumerism.
Right.
And so he hadn't seen anyone leave or come into the location from the time when he arrived, which I think was at like 7-ish.
Okay.
7:15 or something like that. And this was 8 a.m.
Okay.
And he hadn't seen anyone move. So he's like, I can go, like, do you want me to go and see if I can see anything in the store? Which also, why?
No.
You don't need to involve yourself.
No. Not a yeah. Mm-mm.
Well, because she said she heard moaning. So he was thinking, like, I can go and try and help someone, which I think is a really noble thing to do.
I get that. But still, no, you don't know what's going on back there.
God, it sounds like something my husband would do.
Yeah.
Like, in a noble, like,
I would probably
way,
run back
and I
there, too.
absolutely would not. I'd be like, no, the police can check that out when they get here. I'm just gonna...
Yeah.
I'm right here.
I would probably go back.
Probably.
I'd be like, ooh, what's happening?
Yeah. I need to know. I would just force you guys to go and then be like, tell me every detail. He goes in and he goes into like a back, like tries to open a back room, and there's like something up against the door.
Yeah. I didn't realize he went in to find it.
So he like forces it. And at that point, he finds Jaina and he calls out, like, there's someone back here and I think they're dead. So then the manager who was opening the store, she says that to the police.
Yeah.
And then he hears the moaning and he continues walking through, like, the back of the store, which also now this is a crime scene.
Right.
Like, I would leave.
Yeah, you need to
so
stop.
fast. No, thank you. Like, okay, I don't know. But he's still like,
sure,
maybe there's someone I can help.
Right.
And so then they find Brittany Norwood, who is alive, but has some cuts and things.
Right.
And she's zip tied at the hands and the ankles.
Okay.
But she's zip tied in front of her body.
Right.
Not behind.
Yeah.
Which is important.
Yeah.
So he finds her seemingly like injured. So he calls out there's someone injured. They send an ambulance and they get Brittany and they discover that Jaina had passed away or had been murdered. I said that way too nicely. So the police begin to question Brittany and they're like, what happened? And Brittany has a lot of details for someone who went through what would have been a very, very traumatic crime.
Right. Yeah.
Traumatic event. She is able to tell the detectives that the men who did it, one was approximately 6 foot tall, and the other one was much shorter and was 5'3".
Oh, she specifically had a number?
Yes. That they were wearing masks and that they had entered the store after both her and Jaina had returned to the store after closing because she had forgot her wallet and Jaina said she had forgot her laptop.
Okay.
This isn't true.
Yeah.
This is her version of the story. Mm-hmm. She is able to say, like, specific details about like they attacked Jaina first, and then they came after me, and they used a hanger to sexually assault me, and like all of these really like, I don't know if you've ever had a crime happen to you or like been involved. I've only been involved in like one where something.
The only one.
No, like where something happened to me.
Right.
Where I got robbed at gunpoint.
But that's a pretty big one.
And like, saying. Oh yeah. But like, your brain like does not remember details.
No.
Because it goes into fight or flight.
Yeah.
And everything fight, flight, or freeze in my case. Yeah. Where you freeze. And like, no. I can't speak for every person on the face of the earth. I can speak for me.
Right.
Like, I was not able to recall the color of the vehicle, the make of the vehicle.
Yeah.
The men. Mm-hmm. I didn't know how many were there. I knew nothing. Mm-hmm. I was like, like when they asked, the police asked me, I was like,
You're like, motherfucker, I had a gun to my head. I have no idea.
I have no idea. I have no clue. All I know is there was at least 2.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know nothing else. So it's really, for me, that to me is like a huge red flag.
Sure. And especially when we all know witnesses make the most horrible witness. You know, like, they just like don't. An eyewitness is not
a great witness.
An account. Yeah. Because other people do the same thing.
Yeah. So she is able to, though, like, say so many very specific details about, like, first they attacked Jaina and they moved her to the back and they came after me. And she also says that it's, like, racially motivated, that she knew that they were white men by the sound of their voice, and they were saying horrible things to her. Like, they also apparently told her that she was lucky she's pretty.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
How?
It's racially motivated. So she's black, right?
She's black.
Was her manager black?
No.
Okay.
So that's also another really big red flag.
Right.
Like, if this was racially motivated, why are you essentially unscathed?
Right.
It's very superficial wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they murdered the white woman.
Yeah.
Like, that just...
Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
Logically.
No.
I mean, doesn't make a ton of sense.
No. Okay.
So the police believe she's a victim at this time. Sure. They're like, all right. And the businesses around them said that they suffered with like losses because people were like, we don't want to
I wouldn't
go shopping in this area with like, maybe there's people out there who are, you know, the iPad just released. Were they trying to rob people buying iPads or... Like,
there's
what is
no
the motive?
way I would
what
go out
is
there.
This?
Yeah.
So once the police talk to her, they go back to the store to like start the full investigation, and they find all kinds of stuff. Like, but this is like really when her story completely breaks down.
Yeah.
They find like size 14 men's shoe prints. Mm-hmm. But they're always right above her shoe prints.
Yeah.
So it's like, clearly she's trying to like cover something up, you know?
Wasn't the shoe from the mannequin?
They had a pair of shoes that they would have people like try on. Right. Or they would give people when they tried it on. Not, Lululemon doesn't sell shoes. Or didn't at that time.
Right, but I thought they...
So the shoe was from inside the store. They would like give it to people if they needed to get alterations or like see how things fit.
Yeah.
So there's that shoe. There's like... But the shoe prints never leave the store.
Yeah.
And I think the saddest part about this story that like sticks out for me is there's like an emergency exit. And they could tell through forensic evidence that like Jaina had made it to the emergency door, but was unable to open the door, which would have caused the alarm to sound.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was like so close to it.
I did not know that detail.
Yeah. So the store's completely in disarray. All the money is gone. Like, everything is gone. And the other really fucked up thing is Jana's family, once they were notified, because she was from Texas and this was in Washington, she was there like 2 months away from graduation, getting her master's degrees, like double majoring for a master's.
Oh, shit.
And her family was very concerned with how Brittany was doing, like knowing that Brittany had survived this attack.
They're good people.
Which is really, really sad.
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's any point in me like saying everything that's wrong. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's like a ton of stuff is missing from the store. Not like merchandise, but just money. They find that every weapon that was used was from within the store.
Yeah.
So, like, what is this story, you know?
Yeah.
So, I kind of want to go back to the night when they closed. So, when they were closing, Lululemon had a policy that they would have to do bag checks. So, anytime you would, like, leave, I don't know if I'm sure people have worked retail.
I'm sure.
They check your bags.
Yeah.
To make sure you're not stealing.
Yeah.
Which is something of note here because Brittany is a thief.
Yes, she is.
So that night, Jana had checked her bag and saw that there was a pair of leggings in there with no receipt. But that's not a huge thing because none of the employees were allowed to return items. Like, if you bought it with your employee discount, you could not return it.
Oh.
Because I think the thought process was like, you work here and you should know what fits or doesn't fit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, this other person like rang me up earlier in the day. And then Jana's like, okay, well, we'll figure this out tomorrow. Like, we'll close up. So they leave. But Jana immediately like gets on the phone and calls the person who she said was the cashier. And that person like, well, she didn't buy anything. So then she calls another store manager and tells her, like, hey, I think Brittany has been stealing.
Yeah.
And then she gets a phone call from Brittany, who did not have her phone number at this time. And so, because she had only been working at the store for like a month.
Yeah.
So she didn't have
her cell phone number.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So she got it from another employee to try and to call Jana back so that she could get her wallet. Was her story.
Okay.
And Jana was like, sure.
Yeah.
And then what happens in there, like, don't really...
Fight.
A really big fight.
Yeah.
She had over 300 different, like, wounds.
Holy shit.
Marks, things like that.
Like over a pair of leggings?
And I want to say, like, half of them were defensive wounds. So she really fought. Yeah. So what happens is that Jana, I don't know exactly the conversation that led up to it, but like maybe being fearful of losing her job. Yeah. She attacked Jana, or Jana might have confronted her about the leggings. Yeah, probably. Which caused her to attack.
But like still, it's a very violent reaction to leggings.
Yeah, get fired.
Yeah.
Who cares?
What does it matter?
It's Lululemon. Like,
they're not going to go out of business because you stole one thing.
Who cares?
They're not. Yeah. Just move on.
Yeah. Like 300 wounds. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That would be exhausting.
So that's another thing. Like, the forensic investigators and like the coroner, they said that the amount of wounds and like movement throughout the store would have made this whole series of events take like up to 9 minutes. Wow. So it was like excruciatingly slow for Jana. The other thing I want to mention is the Apple Store.
Yeah.
So like I said, the Apple Store had started selling iPads that day, but they heard commotion and did nothing.
Yeah.
They stood at a wall and listened to two women fighting.
Yeah.
And loud noises for 9 minutes. Their security camera showed 9 minutes. And did nothing.
And they just stood there watching the wall?
Listening.
Wow.
And they did not call the police.
Yeah, and that's got to be a distinctive. Like, if someone's fighting for their life, it would be more than, like, just a little...
They heard, like...
Yeah.
Please stop. Like, God help me.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah. Like, it's very... Just no desire to be like, hey, maybe we should call and have someone take a look at it. I'm sure there was, like, security for this shopping center.
For sure.
Like, they could have done something.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I also want to say that, like, but the police watched security footage, and they do see there was no security cameras in the Lululemon store, I guess.
Okay. That's weird.
Yeah. Most of the stores in the area actually didn't have security cameras except for like the Apple Store.
Yeah. Well, 2011.
It's 2011. Yeah. Guys she described, the two men she described, show up on the security footage, like walking past, but they find out that they worked at a nearby restaurant and were leaving, like just leaving to their cars to like go home for the night.
Yeah.
But it's almost like really, it feels very shitty to like try and pin a murder on like essentially ruin these two people's lives. Like, imagine if the police had like believed that or they couldn't think of an alibi or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you could seriously ruin someone's life.
You can. It's scary.
And so they obviously were fine, you know? But, like, it just, that was, like, a really...
That, like, takes it to the next level.
Like, a very shitty thing to do.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Like, they're obviously not involved.
No.
But that's really shitty.
It's really shitty.
The more I think about that, I'm like...
That's,
You suck.
Yeah.
You suck big time.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
She goes back in to the police. Like, I think she feels... like there's suspicion on her at a certain point. So she goes in on her own free will and like makes up more of a story.
Oh, good Lord.
To the police. And she's like telling them, oh, I missed one thing. They find Jana's car. Yeah. So this isn't when they find Jana's car, I don't think. But they think they're asking her, like, hey, do you know what kind of car she drove? Like, do you know anything? And they let her go. That like, they question her and they let her leave this time. And then they bring her in again. And they had run, like, the evidence in the car. And they found her blood, a Lululemon cap with, like, blood on it, and Brittany's blood in the car. And they're like,
that's weird.
Yeah. So she makes up this story about how the killers like told her that she had to go and repark Jana's car somewhere. Yeah. And like I think they asked her to like do one other thing. And she drove past a police officer and was too afraid to stop.
Even though she was the only one in the car?
Correct.
Yeah.
They stayed in the store.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense. It's like the second that she started talking, you're like...
What the fuck?
This makes no sense. Like, you're clearly covering something up. What?
Yeah.
What? This makes no sense. So the detectives are like...
What? You gotta be smarter than that.
Like, what?
Yeah.
No, that's not how this works. Because she had said, like, oh, I don't know what car Jana even drives. Yeah. Like, I'd only seen it once. And then they find her DNA in it. They're like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. It's like, do people not know, like, how DNA works? She got into her car after a bloody fight and moved it What did she think was going to happen?
I think you have to know that how DNA works, but I think...
So in the moment, you're not... I don't know.
I just am struggling with, like, is this premeditated or is it, like, not?
Yeah.
Like, did she call Jaina back to the store in the hopes of, like, murdering her so she wouldn't lose her job?
Yeah.
Or did she call her back to the store because she genuinely forgot her wallet and then Jaina, like, asked her about it and she just, in a fit of rage, like, started this?
Yeah.
I just, as a mid-30s woman, I'm like, I don't think I've ever found myself in a situation, I don't imagine I ever will, where I'm like, okay, things are escalating and then I'm gonna have to kill someone.
Right.
Like, and like, it's just snowballing.
Extreme. Yeah.
You know, like, that almost feels like a script to a movie.
Yeah.
Just like how it snowballs. And like, I don't understand.
No, that's very weird.
I don't.
Yeah.
It makes me want to understand. Like, how does it happen?
I feel like if you were caught stealing like millions of dollars, that might be not okay, but like more of a reasonable reaction.
More warranted.
But like a pair of leggings seems a bit extreme to just for 300 marks on her body. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, like, it's very overkill. Mm-hmm. It's very just like...
Yeah.
I can't even, like, find the words. Mm-hmm. It's just like, what?
Yeah.
Over leggings.
Leggings, yeah. I mean, maybe they are really good. Maybe we should go down there and try them on.
If anything, just walk in and be like, I quit. Before they can fire you.
Yeah,
like,
and just leave.
But again, like, I think to commit a crime, right? Like, you have to have some sort of different thought processes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And
she was not in her right mind.
No.
No.
So, in case you haven't realized, Brittany killed Jaina because she stole leggings.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But there's something I want to mention about her past because, like, Brittany was known for being a thief. Mm-hmm. And so much so that it got her kicked off of, like, her college soccer team that she had a scholarship for. Ooh. And she lost her scholarship and had to drop out of college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
But, like, even going back to high school, like, girls in high school would tell other teammates, like, you better make sure your locker is locked because she will steal.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, like, one of the girls on the college team had, like, sprayed Brittany with some perfume, and Brittany was like, wow, I love this, like, what is it? And she told her, and then the next week it was missing. Oh, like, she was just a thief.
Yeah.
And seems almost, like, very impulsive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe she had, you know,
like, some sort of
addiction.
Yeah. Yeah, like kleptomania.
Yeah.
And they suspected that she had been stealing because this was the second Lululemon that she had worked at.
Yeah.
And so the other location thought, like, oh, this is kind of like, she's kind of stealing. Mm-hmm. Or, like, I can't remember how exactly it was described, but it was like she's sort of working around, like, the loose parameters of our employees, like, perk. And she, rather than fire her, because, like, everyone did it, they had to, like, change the rules, but also transferred her to Bethesda. But Bethesda didn't want her because they knew she was a thief.
Right.
And so she only lasted, like, a month there.
Yeah.
She was looking and had gotten another job that she was about to start.
Oh.
The next day, too. So it's like...
What?
That's what one source said, so maybe wrong. But, like, she was supposed to start another job. So, like, if you're supposed to start another... Which makes the whole, like, I don't understand this even more,
that's
right?
Weird.
Like, if you were supposed to start another job, like, just fucking walk away.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird.
And, like, part of me, as I listen to this, is like, oh, but, like, they're young and they don't understand. But she was, like, 28.
Yeah.
She was not that young.
I thought she was younger.
So
when
did
you
I.
said that.
Like,
what?
not that that makes it any better
No.
or like, but it makes it seem slightly more reasonable that someone whose brain's not fully developed would make that choice.
Yeah.
Over someone whose brain is fully developed.
Sure.
And it's...
Yeah, that's a little strange.
Yeah. So she gets arrested. And like the other thing she does is like she's in an interrogation room with her brother because she was asking for her brother and sister to come and like see her.
Okay.
And so she's in the interrogation room. The police have left the room. And her brother's like, did you do this? And all she says is, I want to go home. Yeah. Like, I don't want to talk about this. I want to go home. I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
She doesn't say, like,
no,
absolutely I did not do this.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
I don't want to talk, but like, also the notion that you can just be like, I don't want to talk about this. I want to go home. And they'd be like, okay, bye. See you later. Like, nah, girl. No.
Yeah.
So she gets arrested, and she gets sentenced. Her defense attorney doesn't even try to say she didn't do it.
Oh.
Like, they don't even try to say that she's innocent.
Yeah.
Because...
It's obvious.
It's obvious. Yeah. Like, all the forensic evidence. It is so obvious.
Yeah.
My favorite piece of forensic evidence that I forgot to mention earlier is that they questioned the zip tying in front of her body, and they looked at the zip ties for teeth marks. So the zip ties on her feet had no teeth marks, but the ones on her hands had teeth marks.
So she was pulling it.
And she apparently, right, she was like moaning in the back of the store. She could have easily, the way she was zip tied, she could have easily, like, had crawled over to access the phone. But she didn't. She laid there for seemingly hours.
Wow. So
her defense attorney really, like, they just try to say that it's not premeditated. That it was, like, a crime of passion or whatever. Yeah. Because they're trying to get away from the death penalty. And get her, or even life in prison, I think, and just like trying to get less of a sentence. It doesn't work.
No.
I don't think Maryland has the death penalty, actually. No. Sorry. Just like trying to get less than life in prison.
Right.
It doesn't work. She gets life in prison.
Oh, that's good.
And that is where she has been since January of 2012.
Jesus.
Yep. I don't think there's ever like a good reason to kill someone.
No.
You know?
Unless it's someone's trying to kill you.
Self-defense.
That's the only thing I can think of.
But like, yeah, I think one of the worst reasons is $100 pair of leggings.
Yeah,
like
they're not that great. I don't know.
The store had said also that they were like losing cash from the cash register.
Yeah.
So like it seemed like she had some addictions that were
not, maybe they needed to be addressed.
Yeah.
They were building up. I could see that.
Yeah, and another podcast that I listened to on this, they mentioned, this, only them mentioned it, so take it with a grain of salt, that after she was arrested, they found that she had been, like, on a sugar daddy website.
I think I heard that, too. Or maybe
So, like, she was receiving money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to call it fully prostitution, but, like, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Which, to each their own.
Right.
But, like, she was doing that to keep up appearances because she liked really nice things.
Right. And I heard she was kind of stealing out of wallets every now and then, too. Like, she would go through purses and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like nice things, too, but I wouldn't go to a store and try and steal it and then get caught and then fucking murder someone for it. Like, I just look at it and be like, oh, that's nice.
Would you?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
Yeah? When I ask you to come shopping with me and you say, I can't window shop.
I can't. But I'm not going to murder someone over it.
Just me when I don't give you my credit card?
I don't see the problem. Like, what the fuck? Are we not friends?
We are friends. But I mean, that's pretty much it for this case.
Yeah.
Really shitty.
It's a shitty thing. She's a shitty person to not only to murder, but to pin it on those other two people too. Like, not okay. That's
and like
fucked up.
I don't want this to sound insensitive, so if it does, you're more than welcome to remove this from the episode.
Yeah.
Although I don't think you're the best gauge of what's insensitive or not.
No, not me.
When she got accused of like stealing at college, they told her, like, you know, they confronted her and she lost her scholarship, and she tried to say that it was because they were being racist and like had targeted her because she was black.
No.
And that is like...
She's also using that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one thing after another.
Like, no sort of a personal accountability.
No. Yeah, no. She doesn't have any. Yeah.
And yeah, that's the story. And that's where she is. She has been in prison. They had tried to do like an appeal.
Oh, God. No.
Saying that she wasn't read her Miranda rights that first time she went in to speak to the detectives, like individually, but she was not detained at that time. She walked in, like in her own accord, and gave them information.
Yeah, they don't need to do that.
And the judge was like, the door was open.
Right.
Like, you were welcome to leave at any time. They didn't Miranda read you your Miranda rights the second that they realized that they had enough to charge you. And they were really afraid she would be a flight risk. That was the big thing. Yeah. They like, when they brought her in after finding the DNA in Jana's car, they like handcuffed her to the table right away because they were afraid she was going to leave.
Bolt.
Yeah. So,
all right.
That's it.
Yay. I don't know why I said
Yay. So happy.